Karen, can you hear me, Rasie?
Yes, I can, Joan.
Okay. Happy Monday to all. We so appreciative that you are able to join us today, and we hope that you had a great and a wonderful weekend. And as we always say here, show yourself some compassion, show yourself some love, because it's one life we have to live on this journey. So just take some time with yourself and show yourself some grace, because that is so important for us to continue to travel, continue to be ourselves. So let's just love on ourselves and also share the love with others as well too. Good morning. My name is Joan Williams, and I'm a holistic health and wellness coach. And we got a great guest today because she's such an amazing person, and she's going to share so much with us, give us some tools to help us on our journey so that we can able to make that change in our lives in whatever we're struggling with today and the challenges we go through. But she's going to give us some tools, as Karen always say, to put in our toolkit so that we can just live a joyful life. Karen? Yeah. Our guest today is Rasie. And Rasie, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to sit in with us today and going to share your amazing story with us, because you has such a great inspirational story and it's so profound. We can draw from that, draw strength, and help us to go through. So let's tell you a little bit about Rasie today. Rasie is a leadership book coach, bestseller author of Lead in Your Truth. I love that. And speaker. She helps businesses and corporate leaders to lead their teams more effectively through self-leadership and tell their stories through book writing. Giving back to our world through her youth mentorship program, she's able to empower and help others with the youth to take control of their lives. Closing the gap in leadership is at the core of Rasie's work. She does this through her success coaching program and youth mentorship program as well. Rasie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Joan, and thank you, Karen.
Yeah,
You're
we had
welcome.
some difficulties with Karen this morning. Technical difficulties with Karen. Karen, can you
Yeah,
hear us?
yes, I'm hearing you. You're most welcome, Razi. It's a pleasure for us to have you here this morning. And I just want to say happy Monday to all you beautiful souls out there. And at this point in time, we will experience a lot of difficulties with our devices because of Mercury retrograde. And we just have to just pause, know that what's happening, acknowledge what's happening, and don't beat up yourself because what is happening at the moment.
Mhm.
So just understand that it's Mercury retrograde, and you're gonna find sometimes things may just shut off. You
Mm-hmm.
can't even communicate with a friend, communicate with a partner. Just know what's happening at the moment. Because whatever is happening above, it's gonna affect the 3D world below here.
Mm.
All right. So don't beat up yourself. Razi, we just want to today, and we know that you got some real good stuff to give us this morning because we all went through some sort of journey to arrive where we are today.
Mhm.
Right.
And we all have a story to tell. And your story is really amazing. And we can't wait for you to really tell us that story. How Razi arrived where she at today. So we're gonna give you the floor now to just give us that good. Thank
Right.
you.
All right. I think I'll get started here. So my name's Rasie. I'm a leadership coach, book coach, and I also do writing. So I'm a bestseller and author on Amazon, and I also run a mentorship program for youth around the world that seek the empowerment. They need the resources, and they don't have access to reliable mentors. It's I came from very far away in Sierra Leone. So I was born and raised in Sierra Leone and grew up there up to about 11 years old. And then I lived in the Gambia and then moved to Canada about a year and a half later. And it's like for me, like with my leadership, like it all started like when I was in elementary school in Sierra Leone. I used to always take on the leadership role. Either it's like Girls Guide or in school plays or, you know, in sports. And if I wasn't putting my hand up, I'll get chosen to lead the way. It just kind of came onto me natural. And both my parents are in leadership roles. Like my mom's a nurse for decades, and my dad's a retired engineer. So it's just something that runs in our genetics that we always take on the leadership role. So I didn't embrace it until I started working at McDonald's fully. I remember going to my manager. I was like, oh, I'm considering, you know, being a manager, but I don't know. It comes with a lot of responsibility. And I'm like the only Black person working here. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take on that. And I also remember talking to my teacher at school about it. And I remember both of them saying, go for it. Go for it, Rasie. You got this. So it was like one level of management. Like after that, I just got promoted like one after the other. And until I started to believe that I can do it, I wasn't consciously doing it. I was doing it because other people believe in me and they're like, yeah, Rasie, go for it. And I kept on pivoting. And the moment I started to believe it, that's when I started to live it consciously and lead from my truth. And I'm super grateful for my mentors that I had, the other leaders that are around me that showed me what authentic leadership is and how I can show up in myself and lead from there and embrace everything about me and knowing that I'm different, I'm unique, and that's okay. I can lead from there and embrace it. So I worked my way through, I worked in a dollar store. Actually, it was like my first job. And so I worked at a dollar store, worked at McDonald's at the same time because I needed to get 500 hours of work experience before I can make it to $8 an hour. So I was making $6 for about 6 to 9 months. So the moment I reached my $8 per hour, I was like, okay, I can let go of my 99 cents dollar store job and continue with McDonald's. So I moved up within the ranks of McDonald's. And then I worked at Vancouver International Airport with Starbucks and multiple other restaurants. And then I worked with Starbucks corporate. And truly, like, my authentic leadership and leading in my truth started when I started working for Starbucks corporate. And it's the mission, the vision, the values. I felt it was very aligned with who I am and becoming at the time. And I wanted to see, like, okay, what's more to this? I'll pause there for a moment.
Now, I mean, that is truly amazing because you brought us in this journey all the way coming from Sierra Leone, then you moved to Gambia. Is that right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And then you started work your way gradually up, but you reference your parents, your mom and your dad, and they're in their leadership role as well. So you can draw example for them, and they can also, I guess, they're also your mentors as well.
Yes.
So you have you have the pattern in you to move forward, not to just stay where you are. You never become complacent. You don't accept that state because you know there is more inside of you. So that was beautiful that you went to the dollar store, you McDonald's, and then you move into Starbucks. And I think somewhere we read that did Starbucks give you an award somewhere along the line when you were?
Yeah, Spirit of Starbucks Award.
What was that moment like? How you felt when you finally starting to see that, you know, I got this, I can do this, I'm doing better, and people were to identify your quality and your work to give you that award. Explain that.
Mm-hmm. It's so I always love helping people. I love living a room or an environment better than how I met it.
Lovely.
And I always look for ways to improve. Like, I know that I'm not perfect, but I know I can do my best. Like that, and that best is different every single day. And how I showed up for, like, myself, for my teams, and for my customers, it was the same Rasie that is at home alone. and in the cafe or out and about with like friends and stuff. And I bring this energy, and I really enjoy sharing that energy and bringing it into our world, because I know we need it. And at the same time, it's coming from within. I make sure I feed that. I feed that on a regular basis, consciously knowing that I need to step out into the world in a whole, right? And pour from wholeness. And when I was working at Starbucks, just that environment, knowing that I can create it, I can bring this energy and this flow of like calmness, kindness, enthusiasm. And what led up to me receiving that award, we actually had the Fort McMurray fires in 2016. And it was very traumatic, leaving the city, trying to get to safety. And I'm looking behind me, there's fire just like burning. You can feel the heat. And we're in this traffic of gridlock. And I remember at the same time calling every single one of my teams and checking in, like, are you okay? Sending text messages. I had about 21 people on my team at the time. And so throughout that experience, and me also communicated with corporate to check in, like, is my team okay? Are people doing fine? And then also when I came to Vancouver, so I lived in Vancouver for about 3 to 4 weeks before we went back to Fort McMurray. And during that experience, like, I didn't know that I was going through trauma. I was like, yeah, the fire happened. We got out safe. Like, we're good. Like, the ways of doing things, you know, like back home, we're not taught to express and tap in and go in and heal, like, what is hurting and what's making us feel uncomfortable. And for me, when that happened, I did not tap in. I kept on going. I was just pivoting. I was like, okay, I didn't even pause to like take time off work. Came into Vancouver. I supported at another store, Starbucks location. And when it was time to go back, me and my late husband were driving back to Fort McMurray, that's when the feelings started to like come up, but I didn't know how to name it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just sad that, you know, now I'm looking at the city and all the trees that were there are all gone. They're burnt. And I don't even recognize the city. And my heart is in the city. And so going back, we opened up one of our store locations, and then we opened the second one. And our president of Starbucks came down, Canada president, and she gave me the award and a few other of us on our team. And I just remember just feeling very emotional, and at the same time, I felt really good because I was recognized for what I was doing. It felt I felt seen. I felt heard. I felt appreciated for what I bring to my team and what I bring to the store and what I bring to the brand, and how I show up. And from there, that's when I recognized, like, fully that I bring the energy to the room. I bring the energy to the environment, and I need to continue to feed that. I need to continue to build boundaries that protect that, and keep pivoted, and at the same time feeling what I need to feel as I pivot.
Wow. So you touch on so much important points there. First, you talk about make sure that you fill your cup so that you can continue to stay filled, because you give so much on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. So tell us some of the things that you normally do.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start off with, I've always been very uncomfortable with spending time alone. I always needed to be around people. I am very extroverted, and I love conversations. I love meeting new people. I just love just connecting, that human connection. And when I lost my husband, and I had a miscarriage, like, before losing him, I needed to learn how to spend time alone. And what happened for me in my grief journey was when I was around people, I would feel annoyed when I was in deep grief. And that, like my therapist said, that's a sign that I need to go within and like dive in and find out like why am I feeling that way, and really sit with it and heal it. So I made that intention to spend time alone and really heal through this pain that I cannot suppress. I couldn't do it the way I've always done it. It was way too heavy. So some things that I actually like built from that experience that I do daily and weekly, monthly, ongoingly to feed my energy that I bring into the world is so first of all, I go to bed early. I enjoy going to bed early. Like around 8:30, 9 o'clock, my eyes already start to get heavy, like even on a Saturday night. And I've accepted it that I like to go to bed early and I like to wake up early. And waking up early, I call it my power hours, like when I wake up in the morning. So from 5 to 9 a.m., it's like it's just lit. Like I have very high energy. I have very high concentration. I am very focused and fully engaged. So I maximize on that. The work that I need to get done that will bring back a lot of value and that will put a lot of value into the world, I focus on doing those stuff. So when I first wake up in the morning, I express gratitude, right? So I say all the things that I'm grateful for that I have. And then the next thing I do is like, I'm very thankful. So I say thanks to God, thank to, the higher power, my environment, the lands that I live and breathe on. And then I set my intentions for the day. So it is up to me what day I want to have. It is up to me to set that tone. So it starts with the intention. Like I intend to. So an example of statements that I'll say is I intend to prioritize the things that matter the most. I intend to trust my intuition and let it guide me. So, and I'll say a whole list of stuff anything that comes up. And this is actually before I leave my bedroom. And the thing is, like, I do this before I interact with my phone. My phone's usually on airplane mode. So even when I turn off my alarm, I don't see anything, no notification or anything like that. And it's fully intentional so that I am focused when I wake up in the morning. I lay the foundation, I set the tone before I interact with anyone or anything in the world. And I love drinking my cup of water. I used to always drink coffee a lot. And my doctor said if I was going to continue to drink coffee, it's going to affect me in the long term. So I cut down on my coffee and stuff. And so like I usually drink like warm water, and then I listen to jazz music. There's ones on YouTube, actually. They have positive energy, upbeat energy. And then when I'm done drinking my waters, usually I do yoga or I go to the gym and get my workout done. And it's probably like this happens for about an hour before I actually plug into the world. And it is so important because I've had moments years ago where I will kind of shift my routine just to see like, okay, what is that difference? I know it works, but I want to know, okay, what is that? What is it like if I was to go onto my phone right away? And I find that I'm not as engaged throughout the day. Like I'm on almost like in autopilot, right? And I'm just floating in the world. And that's how I feed my energy. And throughout the day, the conversations that I'm having, the people that I'm meeting, like I call them my stranger friends. When I go for walks, I meet a lot of people on the way, and smiling at them or just starting a conversation, and just making the world a better place, because I've already set that up. I fill up my cup, and now let me go fill up other people's cups in the world.
Wow, that is just, you touch on so many points there. As you said, first of all, we're sorry about the loss of your husband and your miscarriage that you share with us. Thank you for sharing that with us. I don't know if you want to explain a little bit more about that or not later, but just how you set the tone of the day. how you set your intention. You said you put your phone on airplane mode because, in other words, you could zoom in exactly what you want to do with no outside distraction. And so you set the tone because you want to show up in the world all you, that you're fully engaged, as you rightly said. So you save that space for yourself to set the tone. You said it lasts about an hour. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do your jazz music and your water and every single thing, all to reinforce you as an individual to be whole, showing up for the world. Because when you fill that space up, then you have the quality time to give others and give others substance.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you find that your conversations are more engaging
Yes.
when you do your coaching business and everything else that you do, when you show up in the world, when you go for your walks, because you're giving all the time. When
Mm-hmm.
you go for your walks and you interact with strangers, you're giving as well too there, outside of your business, what you do daily.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. Yes. It's definitely it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah.
And I like that you said, and I know Karen would say the same thing too, that you give gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
You give your daily gratitude because you want to be grateful for why you're here and you're able to function in your purpose and your passion. That's what you do every day. And
Mm-hmm.
that is how you're changing the world every day, just one individual at a time, because you're able to give quality. That's not, you're not just giving. You
Yeah.
give quality, you're giving something that is worth, has so much worth in it. So, I mean, we applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you. Joan, I definitely want to add the fact that the Sundays was not something. So Sunday to Monday are my favorite days of the week. Like it's that transition. It really it gets me really hyped up, right? And sorry, my alarm was going off there. And when I had a moment where I did not enjoy waking up on Sunday, and because that reminded me that okay, Monday is going to be happening soon, and especially when I was in deep grief, and I lived that like one Sunday after another, and I was like, I can't live like this. Like I needed to come back to me. I needed to discover a way that I can show up and actually enjoy being on Sunday, Monday, because it was just a tough 2 days of the week. And I started off with gratitude, and that shifted everything, because we sometimes a lot of times we're longing for what we can't have, or what we had before and we want it back, or what is in the future that we have zero control over. And me bringing myself back to like all the things that I have, like either it's like within and external, and embracing that, and also listen to worship music. I did that on
Uh,
Sunday all day. It just elevates so many things inside. And it's, yeah, but that really helped me set the tone for my love and joy for Sunday to Monday.
yeah, we love that because you're really creating such a beautiful space for yourself. That's almost, that's, I think that is self-care as well, because you're trying to fill your space up because you got a week ahead. You don't know what you will be encountering. But once you can practice that and save that space and infuse yourself, I like how you said worship. Worship songs, it take you to a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
It take you to a whole new level. And it's nice that you're as an individual, as a person, you are taking that time for yourself, because you know that if you're not good for yourself, then you're not good for anyone else, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
nice how you're just carving out those blocks for yourself so that you can show up your best in the world, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm?
Yeah. It definitely starts with us, and that's something that I advocate for like constantly with all the content I put out there in social media, and my clients that I work with. It's We have to always remember that it starts with us. If I can, especially in leadership, if I can't do it for myself, if I cannot demonstrate what it is to be a leader that is intending to do better and continuously learn and lead in our truth, like embracing our truth and walk in the talk, it's really, really hard for me to translate that into the people that I lead. Very difficult. And a lot of my clients that I support they don't know how do I embrace myself? How do I accept the fact that I am this leader, but I can do better? I can actually do better. It comes with that conscious effort, that awareness that it is okay to be where you're at. Just be ready to do that work and pivot and do it start with you. Because that it's like so much more translate, like even not just leadership, but like other areas of our lives, right? Like either it's like our mindset or it's like how we take care of our body, right? It's like a full 360.
Right. And it's just wonderful how you were able to move through that grieving period, move through grief. I think you said it was your therapist or your counselor that you went to, and they told you to go inward due to the situation that you dealt with, right? And then,
Go ahead.
you go ahead first.
Because I wanted, I was looking for external, right? Like I wanted people around me to make me feel better, right? Because I had that with my husband. It didn't matter what I was going through. He always said the right thing that made me feel better. So I was always looking for that outward from my friends, my family, and then I'll get upset and kind of pull away when someone will say something that did not make me feel better. And then at the same time though, it helped me have these difficult conversations of learning how people can support me in my grief. But at the same time, I needed to know what works for me. And it changed. It changed like as I was healing, as time went by, as I continued to do all the work. And what the significant thing I learned is that I needed to go inwards and do it for myself before expecting others to make me feel better. And the more I did that, what people did for me on the outside was just extra, because I fully can do it for myself. I can be sad in a moment and pause, like cry. It could be like I could be at the grocery store. I could be in my car. I could be in a meeting, and I will pause because I'm like, these emotions want to come through and we're not stopping it. We're going to let it flow because I know I'm going to be stronger after this. I know that I'm going to have more love to pour into the world after this. I'm going to feel more joy because I've allowed myself to feel and release.
That's, as somebody was saying the other day, they said there is power in the pause. And what you're telling us today and the audience is that feel the feel. However you're feeling at the moment in time, acknowledge it. Because that's an indicator how you're feeling. So you're telling us today, just feel that feel, acknowledge it, go through it, and then you will come out of the other side feeling so much better, correct?
Yes.
So, and what are some sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead, Joan.
I was someone in the audience who might be grieving and being frustrated. What would you say to them? You would say the same thing to them and add another layer in that as well?
The one thing that's really significant is to find your people that can be around you while you're going through what you're going through. Like it's great that I was able to go inward and heal like what hurts, feel it, and continue to do the work, because it didn't necessarily I wouldn't say it got easier, but I learned how to process, how to express. And the major factor that supported me in this is finding my people. So like, for example, when I had moments, so I have my second book coming out in mid-October, and it's a lot about healing, like how I learned how to create the space for myself and how to communicate to people to hold that space for me. because like we have more control and more power than we actually can imagine or we actually tap into. And so a significant thing was finding my people that can support me through my grief. So it required me to go outside of my close circle, because everyone that was in my close circle had not experienced what I was going through or similar to it. And so like losing a spouse, it's just different. It's like my world was just completely shattered.
Yeah.
And I had to learn how to put it back together. And this is both things that nothing I've ever experienced before or even imagined. And it took me going out of my comfort zone. So going on social media, connecting with other widows and other widows that I've connected with on social media, asking them to connect me with other widows that they are connected with. Because I needed people around me that fully understands like the weight of what is happening. And what shocked me the most is how many people are out there ready to support, how many people are out there to give us a hand, to give us a hug, and to just be that comfort blanket as we're going through it. Because sometimes it's not that you want someone to make you feel better, but you just want that safe space that you can share, right? And for some people, like for me, writing helps me heal. Talking about it helps me heal. Me just telling my story on repeat. I couldn't even tell you how many times I told random people I was talking to in the street that my husband just died. And I didn't know at the time, but it helped my healing process, because every time I talked about it, I start to cry. And that's like tears that need to flow. That is, my heart felt lighter each time I express what I was going through. And many people will pause and hold space, especially if they've experienced grief in any type of way. Either it's like people they've lost, or homes, or jobs, or any type of loss. Like, and that's something that I hold dearly as I was like going through my grief journey. I'm like, people are there to support me. I am not alone. I am never alone. I can reach out, even if it's the people that are very close to me and not able to give me that support. I can reach out to somebody else and build that relationship. And there's so much power in that, in humanity, that people are there to support us. And we just have to say yes to help.
So what you're telling us today is that support is the fundamental towards our healing.
Yeah.
And to have the right kind of people who can hold a space for us, and that they understand what you are experiencing, individual who suffer a loss in any form. But just for them to listen. And one of the things we learn in school, in IAM, we talk about listen with generosity, just holding that space. There is power in that.
Yes.
For that space, so that you can, sometimes you don't even have to do anything, but just the power of listening, that someone can share what they need to get out in that space.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's very beautiful, because most of the times you can see the change in the individual, because it's kind of shift their mindset. It shifts so many things for them at that point in time.
Yes.
So really, there is so much power in that. So if you're grieving today, whether it's you've lost someone or whatever it is, if you could find that, if you got to have a coach or you have your friends, that you can find someone who can listen to you, and you can facilitate the space for them, that they can, part of healing.
And the other thing is like asking for it. So for like, I'll give an example. I had a moment. It was probably like 3 weeks in, like after my husband passed, and I remember calling my parents and siblings, cousins. They were all like in one home, and I was like, oh, I feel really sad today. My heart is super heavy. And so I started crying, and I remember them telling me to stop crying. But it wasn't intentionally saying, Rasie, stop crying, but it was their way of suppressing what they were feeling in that moment, right? So when I said, please do not tell me to stop crying, and then everybody else started crying. So it's like there was just like emotions that are being held down. So it's like sometimes some people will say stuff, and yeah, some of it, it will hurt. It will hurt.
Right.
And we need to know that it's not intentional. Like, yeah, we don't want to hear that right now. Like, we're going through what we're going through, and it's not intentional in their end. It's what they know best to do to support you in your grief journey. And that's something I learned late, right? And as I went through it, it was probably like a year later that I started to understand, okay, I'm going to call my younger brother because I need support in this. I'm going to call my older brother because I need support in specifically this. So identifying like who can hold space for you in certain things that you're going through. And we don't necessarily have to depend on one person to provide all of that for us, because I've learned that can affect our relationships. I have friends that I had like very strong relationships with before Yusuf passed away. And after he did, I couldn't say all the things I wanted to say, right? To them to hold space for me. And even if I end up saying a lot, I kind of push them away because they're not equipped, right? Some people are not equipped to hold that space because they're going through their own stuff. So it's super important that we understand that different people can hold different space for us, and really read in the room, like who is ready to receive what I'm sharing right now. And because your energy and time, like when you're going through grief, is so much more precious. You only have so much energy, and it's the moment you're done, crying, you're already exhausted.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's really like picking, like, okay, who can hold space for me when I'm going through this and this.
That is beautiful what you said there, because it's so important. And as you rightly said, identify who, because putting all on one person, as you rightly said, if they're not equipped, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you were able to identify, okay, I can talk to my brother, which one of the brothers, and you can speak with them, and then you can be comforted for the moment.
Yeah.
Because he is able to handle that.
And Joan, one thing that even now that I do from that experience is setting the tone when I pick up that phone or I'm about to have a conversation, letting that person know I need you to only listen. I don't need advice. I need to let this out, right? Or walking into a conversation, I need to know what you see, what's your advice objectively. Or can you tell me what your perspective is on this as opposite to like what I'm sharing right now. So we have like the zeal to create that environment of like where we want to share, right? And let people know like, okay, this is what my expectation is. This is what I want you to support me with. Because sometimes we make assumptions like, okay, this person knows what I need, right? And sometimes we just need silence. Like, I love silence a lot of times. I just want to let things out. I know exactly what I'm going to do next, but I just need to release and pivot.
I like that you set an intention before you have the conversation with the individual, and let them know, I just would like to speak, and you're not looking for any advice. You just want to share in that moment.
Yes.
And clear that thought. Correct? Wow. It's truly amazing. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about you working with leaders.
Yeah.
And share that a little bit. Let's go a little deep into that as well.
Yeah, it's so throughout my leadership journey, it took me a long time to understand why leaders were not walking the talk. I just didn't understand this. Like I'm high performer. I go get like what I need to do. I get it done, right? So when I will interact or work with other leaders that were not walking the talk, they were mainly talking the walk and then walk the talk when certain people are around, right? That would be like, good job. And I just didn't understand that because I'm like, I can show up as me, the same, like, it doesn't matter who's around. I can just be me. So like I had a time actually in corporate where I asked my director of operations. So we had a switch, like we're prepping for top leadership from out of the country to come and visit. And we're doing all this like cleaning and we're checking our staff's uniform, name tag, and making sure our display is like all tip top. And with me, I say it as it is on most times, right? And I said to him, I'm like, why do we go through all this hassle to do this for top leadership that's coming from out of the country, but not for our customers and our teams that are here on a regular basis? I'm like, can you help me understand that? And then basically I was told it's just the way it is. You just do as it is. And that doesn't settle for me. And that's what I started to like say with my teams. We need to act and show up the same way that we would for our customers, regardless of who's around. Like if you need support, you're going to ask for support. If a customer has given feedback about something, we're going to change it right away. So with that mentality for me, I was like, okay, how can I make more impact this way? And that's why I started my leadership coaching business, to really help more leaders walk the talk. Because it starts with that awareness, that consciousness, and doing it with a bigger purpose in mind. Like there's like a bigger, something that's bigger than us and the greater good. So it's when I lead better and do better, I'm actually making the world a better place. And something as well, like through like my leadership program, is that leaders start to learn how to build healthy relationships with themselves, and that translates into how they lead their teams and how they take care of the teams and inspire them to build on healthy relationships as well. So a significant part is like that. It starts with that self-talk. So how I talk to myself is a way that I'm going to talk to other people. And if I'm not talking to people that way, the way I talk to myself, then I'm acting, right? It's not exactly who I am. So really I help them go internal and really understand, okay, how I talk to myself, I need to start with me and showing respect for myself, love, compassion. So we do like a whole exercise on that. That's something that I absolutely love when I see them not complaining about relationships, but taking action of how can I hold this person on my team accountable? How can I communicate? How can I not be passive aggressive, but really being clear and knowing that what the reason why I'm coaching this person, the reason why I'm having this conversation is to help them grow. And when they're growing, you're actually making the company a better working environment, and you're making the world a better place, because you're not only setting up this person on your team for success, but you're also setting up for success outside of the organization. So it's like the greater good, like in mind.
Wow, that was so well said, because you're starting from the top. Mm-hmm. And for productivity and a healthy environment, then it starts from the top and you infuse all that good stuff in there, so that you're creating such a huge change for within the company and for the world at large.
Yeah.
And you're doing with individual one at a time. And I like when you said when the company was coming in for, whether it was a summit or a conference, there was all this huge big change. But then, as you rightly said, why don't we do this for our customers? Mm-hmm. Why don't we start there? Because just for this moment, it should not be just one-time thing. Yeah. Our customers are as important. And so let's create that change from there as well. Mm-hmm. And it ripple effect.
Totally. Yeah. And I run group workshops as well on a monthly basis. It's complimentary for the rest of this year. And the intention with that, because I know there's a lot of people who need my support. I know that there's a lot of people that need that awareness awakened, right? Like lifted up so that they can know, okay, this is where I'm at and this is what I need to do to pivot. So my group workshops is a way of reaching more leaders to support them. And at the same time, they get to understand what my coaching style is, because you don't know if it fits if you haven't tried it, right?
Sure.
And also with my book, Leading Your Truth, is to really help any leader. It's like actually any leader in any industry to, thank you so much, Joan, to use 8 steps to lead in their truth. So I share real life examples in my book of how I did it for myself, because it's like embracing our authenticity and learning, okay, this is what my truth is. This is who I fully am. And this is how I'm going to show up in the world. And this is how I'm going to lead and do better from here. It's a long process, but every single leader can do it. Every person that's self-leading themselves can do it. It is very possible.
Yes, that is so true, because once you start to make that shift and you pivot, your mindset has already changed. You're mindful of what you're doing, and you realize that you're creating a difference, and you just kind of start to build that momentum right through the process. And we like how you share in a workshop, and I think we have the workshop in the chat as well, pinned there. And so our audience today, you can take advantage of Rasie's workshop, because you're going to learn so much, and it's going to help you to make that change specifically in your life. Now let's talk about this book.
Yeah.
And first of all, we like the title,
Thank you.
Lead in Your Truth. Where did that come from?
It's for like there was a period of time there where I'm a recovering people pleaser. Like I always put other people first. I'll go completely out of my way for everybody else. And when it came to doing things for myself, like I procrastinate. I push it further out, right? But if like for example, in my professional life, I'm really good at just at showing up, leading, and doing whatever it takes to keep pivoting, right? And when it came to my personal, that took a backseat. So I really needed to learn, like, how do I put the one and one together to make it 2? And when I wrote Leading Your Truth, I really wanted to help every leader know that they can show up at work 110% and do the same at home, and finding what's that definition of their balance. Like what is going to feed that chemistry of doing both. And for me, when I say I'm leading in my truth, it's that I'm embracing everything about me, everything about who I am, the things that I do, and what I feel. It's either it's like from setting my goals, visualizing that, and being consistent, being resolving conflict in a healthy way, or making time for what adds value. That is all connected to how I show up in my truth. Just understanding this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at is my truth. And I'm going to embrace that and keep pivoting and leading from there.
Love that. Love that. We both read this book, and it's truly incredible. So much nuggets in here. And so today, one lucky member is going to receive a book from us today. Tom, you're going to do it first, please. Tom? Yeah, this book you did really good with this book, Rasie. Thank you so much for putting your thoughts and a lot of nuggets in here that we all can lead in our truth.
Yes, it's my pleasure. And a lot of quite a few readers that have picked it up, that I've been in conversations with, they refer to it as a handbook. So you can always go back to it depending on what topic you're at or what skill you're trying to build on in your leadership role. And see what example I share in there in my personal story and relate that and translate it into how you can lead in your truth from that.
I like how you're talking in chapter 7. Show up fully present. Show up fully present. I think we can expand a little bit about that before I kind of really end the show a little bit. Show up fully present.
It's so like, and especially in corporate leadership, sometimes we're caught up multitasking all the time, or, we're prioritizing other things that need to happen. Either it's like meetings, doing planning for either it's like events, or we have a new promo coming out. It's super important. Like when we're fully present, we actually remember. You remember what that moment was like. You remember what that conversation was like with your team member. Your people feel heard, they feel seen, and you actually are able to read your environment because you're like, okay, I am here. Because sometimes for like leaders that I support in my coaching program, they have so many other things happening, outside of work, or other things that are happening in their relationships at work that holds them back from showing up fully present. And I think it starts with, like, again, we talked about setting the tone from before I actually leave my home. And also it goes back to like simplicity, simplifying things so that you're able to be present. So if someone on your team is having challenges, think of how can you simplify this for them by having that conversation and listening. A lot of times we can solve problems by just listening to what that person is saying, because sometimes they can discover what is their next step that they need to take. And for me, when I show up fully present, I'm enjoying the moment. Like either it's like challenges or I'm in chaos. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm at. Let's just embrace this and let's keep pivoting. And it goes to, and it'll help us identify as well, like what do I need to work on? Because when I'm fully present, I'm fully conscious, I'm here now and fully in the moment, I get to see everything that's happening. I get to feel all that's happening within me. And it's very powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful because you're there in the moment and you're not letting anything else distract you. You zoom in, you all focus in, and then you can acknowledge and be much more aware of what's happening around you. And as Ryder, you said, then you can acknowledge and see what you need to work on at this moment, at this point in time. So to continue to help you to better and to shine better.
Yeah.
Tom, are you there?
I'm sorry. Concetta won the book on the first try.
Oh.
So you need to go ahead and send Karen or Joan or myself your address so we can ship it.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah. It's like I had 8. As soon as I thought of it, I thought 8, and Concetta picked it right out. So she was supposed to get it.
Oh my God. Congratulations to you. You're going to enjoy this read. It is so important with all the nuggets that Rasie has written in here. Amazing. And those of you who would like to have a copy, you can also check on Amazon. It's there, and Tom has the link pinned.
The link is right in the top of this live in Facebook.
Okay.
Be there. It's a direct link right to it.
Right.
I think I'm going to order it this month.
Oh my God, it's so amazing. It talk about leadership, talk about responsibility. And I like this one here. You said avoid it or deal with it. avoid it or deal with it. There is so much. Believing starts with you. I like that.
Yes.
Believing starts with you. Oh,
Mhm.
and there is so much good stuff here. Use this to measure your success. Whatever it is you're going through, use this to measure your success, your responsibility, the destination.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. So, Razie, sorry we didn't. Karen has a technical situation there, but Razie, we just love you being here this morning and to share with us where you came from, starting from Sierra Leone, and you moved through the different blocks of life, different phases, suffering loss with your husband, miscarriage, your job, you changed where you came from, how you work at the dollar store, earning the hours, making the money, and your determination and the strength, and thinking about your parents who also are in leadership roles as well, that you emulate and they become your mentor. And now you now has become mentor for so many lives across the world, running your mentorship program, helping leaders in their company. I mean, you're really doing it.
Thank
You're
you.
making a massive change. You're creating a ripple effect globally. So we just want to give you your flowers. We just want to thank you for stopping by today and sharing all this information to us, that we also can put some nuggets in our lives and change, and also continue to change the world as well. And the audience, I know, resonated with you. And thank you for writing this book, because I know you have a next one coming out soon as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Dealing with healing and spirituality. So we
Yeah.
just say continue doing what you're doing, continue making that impact in the world. And Karen and I so appreciate you for coming through today for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Can, can I ask a question? I
Yes.
put it in the comments. Um, I I'm ex-military, so I keep track of things. Sierra Leone, I think about the time your family left for Gambia, was going through some really hard political
Mhm.
unrest at the time, wasn't it? So they're basically refugees, and Gambia was more has
Mhm.
remained more stable. So
Yes.
they didn't come here on a high note. I just
No, no,
they
don't know.
I love it. I think that you might want to share that in the future because that's an
Mhm.
amazing story. And so few people, unless you've lived in a third world country, understand that, you know, a lot of people in the world don't go to bed at night feeling safe,
Mhm.
feeling
Mhm.
secure in their person.
Yeah.
And there's so many beautiful stories that come out of that, of people who
Mhm.
I'm so happy your family found were able to go to Canada.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
And it's this the appreciation for time and this breath that I get to take every single day. It's just elevated because there are times where I didn't know if I was gonna have to breathe the next day.
Wow.
Particularly as a child, I don't know
Mhm.
how old you were when you left there, but it must have been a traumatic.
11. Yeah.
I
It was
know what
it
was
was my
going.
childhood.
I know what was going on there. I remember
Mhm.
a little bit of it, maybe not all the details, but that whole area
Mhm.
there. There's a movie called Blood Diamond.
Yes.
Mhm.
We don't need to talk about negative things, but I
Yeah.
thought that
Beautiful.
was an amazing part of your story that other people
Yeah.
hear.
We so
Seriously.
appreciate you for coming through and
Thank you.
sharing that story. And I like also the part that you share your morning routine and how you put your phone on airplane mode, because you want to start your day fully prepared and fully
Mhm.
present.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joan.
And Concetta, thank you for playing with the numbers, and you're gonna receive the book. As Tom said, you're gonna send your information to us and we'll get it to you. Thank you so much. Great, great, great. Karen, I know you would say, bye, beautiful souls. So thank you all for coming through today and have a great week.